Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be having a bit of a discussion about all the defender influx that seems to have effectively regained its popularity for the game and players' reactions to it, especially in the light of Kabam effectively saying that the game is not ready for a 7-star Hulkling or CGR. And there are definitely a lot of passionate and mixed opinions. So first post that I'm going to reference here is going to be from a while back that Kabam made about 5 out of 5 defenders. That was at the time of Bullseye, Serpent and Chantress effectively coming into the very quick succession. And they effectively said that they are aware that they have been going hard on the 5 out of 5 defenders. However, they effectively do not plan on having them in such bursts further on. So internally and looking forward over the last month or so, we have already adjusted some of our plans for a number of upcoming champions so that they weren't as strong on defense. This isn't to say there won't be any 5 out of 5 defenders coming your way in the future, but you can expect fewer than what you have seen in the last few months. However, recently, realistically speaking, we got Yelena below, that's 5 out of 5 defender. We got Dark Phoenix, that's 4 out of 5 defender. We got Arnim Zola. We had Sentinel effectively join the game in like December. And then even the middle of the pack releases, for instance, somebody like Jean Grey with reverse controls and her power shield mechanic is also fairly frustrating on defense. Gentle is proving to be more significant threat than more people thought, and there has definitely been a very big defensive focus on the champions lately. Now that is also to say that I do think that the average quality of the champions have kind of improved lately, and I do think that has to be pointed out because let's face it, for the first time ever we are about to get a Titan Crystal with like one dud in it, and even that champion, which I personally consider to be Falcon Joaquin Torres, is okay. He's not awful. He's not like, pre-buff Silver Sables level of awful. There are stronger champions going in the Titan Crystal as the extras. And in general, most of the champions people are genuinely looking forward to acquiring, like, Scream and Jack-O-Lantern and Bastion and Jean Grey and Zola and so on and so forth. So I do want to put that out there as well. But it's definitely sparked a fairly big discussion about these defenders and how to counter them. And it is going on quite strong. It's definitely going on quite strong there. Where was the post that I wanted to show here? This was from Karate Mike, effectively. At the end of the day, the game isn't ready for a 7-star Hulkling, Hercules, or Cosmic Ghost Rider. And we didn't feel like any other yet to be released Cosmic was in the right spot for this event. There was a period of time we discussed adding Carnage to the Crystal, so there would be one champion per class. What would have made it better? No, well, adding a good Cosmic champion would have. And again, so this line specifically, at the end of the day, the game isn't ready for 7-star Hulkling, and they are stating it as a fact, which does seem extremely lopsided when they are releasing, again, Arnim Zolas yet again, when they are releasing Dark Phoenix now, which we're about to see, Yelena below, which are like, as tough of defenders at the very least on paper as we have had. And it is quite undeniable that the Battlegrounds metas have shifted, and the Battlegrounds itself as a game mode has become significantly much more like a card game, where if you do not have a specific counter for, let's say, Serpent or Bullseye, you just lose. There's not much you can do. And now we have Zola, that's effectively the same. It's likely going to be the same with Yelena below and Dark Phoenix. And it is definitely a fact at this point that the Battlegrounds have completely changed their core from like OP attackers matter the most. Now the OP defenders are dominating the game. Like, if you do have more of the OP defenders and your opponent doesn't drop the exact counters to them, you're going to win. Even if you're going to use mid as fuck champions offensively, barely, finish your fights, because champions like Bullseye just knock you out. Champions like Serpent are like unbeatable without the exact counter. And champions like Hulkling were a counter to that, because you could nuke a lot of things with Hulkling if it wasn't even an exact counter. And it definitely, at the moment, is leading kind of like very, very spark discussion. And people, as one of the best examples here, which I think is an extremely fair argument, are using Tigra. Because Tigra, as you can see, as a 6-star, effectively did the Red Skull at the moment in like 35 seconds. That's a 7-star rank 4 versus a 6-star. 35-second fights. And Tigra apparently is perfectly fine. And now let's keep in mind that Tigra does have skill requirement, but she is insanely OP. Like, only reason I think Hulkling, for instance, was a more popular draft is obviously that Hulkling is a better defender and he's easier to play. And therefore, there are less people who are good with Tigra or had invested in Tigra. But Tigra is no less bonkers than Hulkling is offensively in the amount of matchups she can take, especially also matchups across classes. Like, Tigra nukes down the Onslaught, for instance, that's 5-5 defender. I'd be willing to bet that rank 4 Tiger can probably nuke down the Zola as well. It's 5-5 defender. I'd be willing to bet that rank 4 Tiger will nuke down just about anybody that doesn't explicitly forbid her from doing so. And she can take a lot of class disadvantage matchups as well, like Thing, for example, which is so rare and unique. So she's very versatile. So I am genuinely interested. What do you guys think? Because obviously, from players' perspective, the natural response here is, it's like, no, we want the shinier toys. We do want the OP attackers as well. I'm not sure if I buy the Hulkling's too OP for the game right now argument, but I nonetheless think that maybe why is not release every broken champion in one crystal. That's fair enough. One thing is what keep in mind is that Funtman is in the crystal and Hulkling is one of the best Funtman counters. That's whatever. I just don't understand it. The only thing I can think of, Hulkling was the most drafted champion, and on that basis they're saying he's too much for the game. Honestly, have no idea. But again, somebody is always the most drafted at one point. And if you're talking about game being ready and champions being absolutely bonkers, like, Serpent as a champion is way more busted than, let's say, Hulkling is in any meaningful game mode aside from Balgron's attack. Like, Serpent, for instance, is the better defender by far. Serpent is definitely the better champion like Necropolis. I'd argue Serpent is, equally or similarly great for Alliance War, where he is one of the more banned champions these days. Serpent is like amazing for everything. He's a bit slower, fair enough. He's ramp up, so in Everest content he will outpace Hulkling, but not overall. But he's just so much more versatile in OP. He does have the access to Pierce. He does have the access to unblockables. He does have, power gain. He has his immortality. He has several ways of dealing damage. He doesn't have to rely on big yellow numbers, but he can get those too. Hulkling is the strongest, but Tiger, who has better damage and utility than Hulkling, has high skill cap. That is kind of like the one argument then. And these memes are quite good. These memes are kind of what swayed me to make this one. Then Hulkling and CGR fighting who's going to be in the Heart of Fire Crystal, and Tiger just moves by. We got champs like Serpent, also and Photon, and Enchantress, and Deathless Thanos, and soon future Ant-Man and Yelena, and Dark Phoenix. We're worried about bringing counter to all this. Yeah, that's how it generally looks like. Red Guardian, 7-star rank 4, does 5500k health pool in 6 hits. But Hulkling is the problem, right? The Hulkling is the problem. I think Kabam made a huge screw up not adding that Hulkling or CGR in the crystal. I genuinely do. I do think they cost themselves a fair amount of money. I do think they, once again, ruined a fairly large amount of goodwill with the players. And especially when you put that hype and expectation of Hulkling or CGR coming to the game, because we were effectively led on and teased about it, in the hindsight of the game getting a tough defender after tough defender after tough defender once again in a span of few months, it makes Kabam look so shit, man. It really does make them look so shitty. This is one of those things where I just cannot believe they don't see it themselves, especially with so many players working for them. They have MSD, they have DLL, they have Karate Mike, Dave. All of them have played this game. I refuse to believe none of them can take a look in the mirror and realize what they are doing and how they look to the players. And I understand that they're not the ones making the decision at the end of the day, or not necessarily are the ones making the decision. They must have some, conversations in the work in the regards of these things. There has to be some discussion. And it just seems that almost every time when you have two choices in front of you, a shit one and a good one, regardless who is working for Kabam, they always pick the shit one. They always pick the one way to piss off the players the most. But, so yeah, what do you think? Is Hulkling too powerful for the game right now? Or not? Drop a comment, I'll check them out, I promise. See you soon. Bye-bye. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next